Hey everybody, happy Friday. Your quizzes didn't look too bad from yesterday, so that's excellent news. I will obviously try to get those graded as soon as possible. But should kind of know how you did already. Your answers should all be right, and then if you knew what you were doing, then you're good, and if you didn't, then you didn't. That's a different story. So, we got those quizzes on. Probably we won't. I'm sorry. We won't have a test. Well, maybe next week. We'll have to see what's going to look like. And then, obviously, we still haven't heard anything about midterms. So I'm guessing that they're on. So I know that's probably not the news you wanted to hear, but I'll let you guys know who are virtual what that's going to look like and what the plan is for that, okay? So today we're just going to kind of continue, and we're not going to talk about systems, but we're going to get ready to talk about a different type of systems. And we're going to talk about graphing inequality lines. So let me show you an example. Like if we have y is greater than 2x minus 4. So it's going to look like slope-intercept form. However, instead of an equal sign, it's going to be an inequality. So let's talk about what that's going to change and how we need to go about doing that, okay? So I'm going to want to graph these, which is good because it's going to work a whole lot like slope-intercept form does. So, for example, I'm going to graph this just like as though this was an equal sign. So the 2 is still my slope. The negative 4 is still my y-intercept. And so I'm going to go down here 1, 2, 3, 4, put a point. And then my slope's 2, so it's going to rise 2, run 1, rise 2, run 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. All right, so you get kind of a good idea. Now is where the differences are going to stop, because I'm not just going to connect my dots. All right, it really depends on what type of inequality we have. If these points right along the line are included or not included. So if it's a greater than or a less than sign, we're going to use a dashed line. Basically saying that those points that are right on that line are not included in my solution set. So I'll kind of explain what that means in a second. And then if it's a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, then we're going to use a solid line. So if there is a solid line underneath the inequality, then we are going to use a solid line to connect those points. So if you look at mine up here, it was just greater than. So I'm going to just go dashy. Ooh, still trying to be straight. That one's awfully crooked and stuff, but that's good enough. And you definitely want to make sure that I can tell that it's dashed. That's probably the one thing that's the most important, because it's kind of hard as a teacher when you I just make my dashes really long or something like that. Make it obvious. If it's not obvious it's dash, I'm going to assume it's solid, okay? But we're still not done, because with inequalities, just like when we graphed them on number lines, we have to shade something. And what you're going to do to shade, we're either going to shade this side of the line, either these are the points that would make this a true statement, or these are the points that would make this a true statement. So I'm going to literally shade half of my graph, depending on which side is true. And then to tell, you're always just going to select a point to try. Now, the easiest point that you will ever get in any equation is 0, 0. So if your line does not go through 0, 0, I would tell you to pick 0, 0. You can't pick a point if your line goes through it. So for example here on 2, 0, don't pick 2, 0, right? That's just a bad point. You want to know 1/2 of your line, one side of your line. So pick one on this side or pick one on this side. All right, but 0, 0 is an excellent, excellent choice. So we're going to try 0, 0, and that means we're going to plug 0 in for x, 0 in for y. So 0 is greater than 2 times 0 minus 4. Well, let's see if that's true. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. So is 0 bigger than negative 4? This time, absolutely it is. That's a true statement. So because that's a true statement, we want to shade this side of the line. Now the reason I'm shading this side is because that's where the point 0, 0 is. I'm going to shade the point that was true. If it would have been false, I would have shaded that side of the line because that point 0, 0 would not have fit in my solution set. But as you can see, if I plugged in 0, 0, I got a true statement. 0 is greater than negative 4. If you plug in any point that's in this shaded spot, so maybe you wanted to pick 0, 6, that should also be a true statement because that point is in the shaded area. So any point in that shaded area should give you a true statement. All right? Let's do some more. Let's go. Y is less than or equal to, I don't know, 1/3 x minus 5. Okay, so again, I'm always going to start this with my graph, and I'm going to graph it just like that with an equal sign with some points. So in this one, it has a slope of 1/3. It's going to rise 1, run 3. And it looks like it has a y-intercept of negative 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here is my y-intercept. And then for the points, I'm going to rise 1, go 1, 2, 3. Rise 1, go 1, 2, 3. All right. And then I'm going to check the inequality. This one has a line underneath. It's a solid line underneath, so this is a solid line when we graph it. And I want to make it nice and extended here so that when I do the shading, it kind of looks good. And then when I shade, now I notice that my line does not go through 0, 0. So let's go ahead and select 0, 0 for my point that I want to try. So I'm going to try 0, 0 again. So when we plug it in, 0 is less than or equal to 1/3 times 0 minus 5. Well, let's see if that's true or not. 1/3 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Is 0 smaller than negative 5? Well, hopefully at home you are yelling at me, no, it's not, because it's definitely not smaller. So in this case, this point was false. So I'm going to go to my line. That means that all the points on this side of the line are false, which means that I need to shade the points below the line. So in this case, 0, 0 was not my solution set. It's going to be only points that are this side of my line. And there's the graph. Cool. I want to do one more for you. Let's go.
2x.
Y equals negative 3x. Oh, not equals, sorry. Y is less than negative 3x. Almost got me there. All right, so again, the rule is you graph it the way it is. So my slope here is negative 3. It's going to go down 3 over 1. And my y-intercept is 0 because there's nothing here. So this one's going to start here at the origin. And it's going to go down 1, 2, 3 over 1. Go down 1, 2, 3 over 1. 2, 3 over 1. All right, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to check my inequality. This time it's a less than sign. That means I need a dash because there is no solid line underneath it. So I'm not going to connect with a solid line. So I'm going to go dashy, dash, 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 dash. Something like that. Okay, and then I still got to pick a point. Ooh, guys, here's the problem. We can't pick 0, 0 because it's going through 0, 0. So we're going to have to pick another point here. So it doesn't matter what point as long as it's not on this line. You can still pick one with 0. You could pick like 0, 10, for example. It's all the way over here. I'm sorry, all the way up here. You could pick 1, 1. Let's pick 1, 1. So we're going to test this one right there. Test 1, 1. And let's see if that gives us a true statement or not. So 1 is less than -3 times 1. -3 times 1 is just -3. So is 1 smaller than -3? I don't think so. I think it's bigger, right? So this side does not get shaded. We shade the other side because this point was false. All right, so all of your questions are going to be a graph. You're going to be putting a different kind of line, either shaded or dashed, and then you're going to be shading, either solid or dashed, and then you're going to be shading one side of your line, okay? Let me know if you guys have any questions on this. Happy Friday, you guys. Have an awesome weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will catch you guys next week on the flip side.